All right, here we go. Checking in for episode 35. This is the morning of, and I'm getting ready to step on the scale to see what I weigh in my full gi. Okay, so I've got like a pound 0.4 to play with for breakfast. Cool. All right, here we have a 1 pound, 10 ounce mixture of a mocha maca rebel, some coconut water, and some coffee mixed with several different types of green tea. All together in this bad boy here, I figured that I weighed in at 106.1, and I'm definitely going to use the restroom again, and I'm going to break a sweat before I compete. So I'm thinking about possibly adding on something like this. That should be about right. I'll eat 1 bar now, or no, wait. I'll start sipping on the liquid now, and then let me see, probably going to compete somewhere in the neighborhood of 2, so what's 2 hours prior to that would be noon. So like maybe 11:30 I'll have 1 bar, and then what's 2.5 hours prior to that? 9. So in 1 hour, I'll eat a protein bar, one of these, and then at like right up before noon, I'll eat the other one, and I'll sip on this bad boy, basically starting with this protein bar, and that should be it. Should be good to go. I think that's gonna be the ticket. Witness and behold my daily ritual of cooking food that I do not eat. Good job, Leon. Once the bubbles are there, then you can go back through and fatten them up a little bit. Now, from this point forward, I will be narrating the video. Here's me finishing up breakfast. We loaded both of the kids up and packed up the car and headed out to Liberty, Missouri, which is right outside of Kansas City. The tournament was at William Jewell, and it was a really nice facility. It was a nice big crowd of people. It was a really good experience. I've been training for basically 2.5 months, and I'll talk more about the matches when they come across the video, but I did lose by points, but I did not get submitted, and I had a good showing. I feel really good about it. So this is just something that you have to go through. A lot of these people have been competing for a long time, and this is just the first of many for myself. I'm really enjoying messing with this new camera I got for my birthday. It just came out, and it's got a lot of really cool features that I have been dabbling with for the first time in this little project. Here's walking through the bullpen area, getting told that my time's up and I'm about ready to go compete. I just head back and hop into my gi real fast, and I ended up weighing in at like 204.6. And here we go. He shakes both hands, makes sure that everybody's ready, and then you just tap, and then it's go time. And this is just so important. I recommend everybody try to get somebody to get you a video of your match, and just get out there and compete as quickly as you could possibly feel comfortable doing it, okay? You might surprise yourself and win. You might, end up, it doesn't matter how it ends up, because this is not the point. The point is you will not understand where you really need to focus your training unless you go through this process of competing. I'm really sold on that now. They all told me that was the case, and I listened, thank goodness. So it's really cool to be part of this community, man. I'll tell you what, it's a lifestyle. These people have been living for, jiu-jitsu for however long, and their belt kind of tells the story, at the different colors. They really do mean a lot. You really have to earn it. It's not something you can just go through some kind of flow and get the belts, or it's not something where you can just pay for the testing and pay for the belt and just, learn some form and always guaranteed to level up at some point. This is show your true ability in the moment and your understanding of what needs to happen in these situations on a certain level, or you're not going anywhere, and I am drawn to that. I find it fantastic. And there's been times before in my life where I was uncomfortable in a big crowd, and I was cool as a cucumber amongst these people. I think part of it is really because the practice of jiu-jitsu weeds out negative personality types, or just there's only really a certain type of person I feel like that. I mean, I know it's a broad spectrum, obviously, of people and demographics and stuff, but we all have something very similar in common, and there's a respect there that makes it easy. And plus, you just know you're inside a group of, it's just a big army of super deadly people is really what it is. It's like, oh, everybody in this room, for the most part is a practitioner of jiu-jitsu. And there's more colored belts in there than there are white belts, so it's pretty awesome. It's right about here in the video when I actually start finally getting somewhere. And I just have to stop accepting the takedown into my guard. I thought, okay, he's coming into my guard, I can do this. But that's one of those things where it works pretty often in training, but out here I could not put it together from the bottom. So this is just absolutely fantastic experience. I can't say it enough. This feels like a perfect opportunity to just shout out to my wife and my family for being so supportive, and just seeing this as, a good thing for myself. This is a big bucket list deal for me, getting into that jiu-jitsu training. It's really something that, you have to start, and you have to just invest that time in to get there. And it's really perfect timing in my life for it. So I'm 34, and, before I'm, 50 years old, I might have at least a brown belt, and that would be really cool. I mean, if I just keep putting in the work and keep progressing and growing in my own game, then that's really not a hard possibility. That's something that seems pretty doable. And when I walk by those brown belts around in this IBJJF tournament, you know what I mean? You know what it takes to get there, and there's just a high level of respect I have. It's like this was a collar choke right here. I felt really good about the collar choke, man. I had it in really decent on below his jawline, and I just put some effort into it, and I really squeezed hard. And I got to give that guy credit for growing such a magnificent beard. I think that might have been the thing that saved him on the collar choke right there. He's got one heck of a beard to him. So those little differences are something that's pretty interesting about this type of sport as well. Man, passing that knee through that, I should have focused on the ankle first. I'm learning all sorts of different cool things from watching these videos, and just, man, this experience in general. There's the time on the first one. Yeah, it's like, oh, no, that's how fast. Man, it goes by just lightning fast. I couldn't believe it. He had a clear, easy points win over me on that one. So, yeah, and this is the beginning of the next round. It might seem weird to some people, it might sound a little funny, but this actually falls into my self-care category. I know that there's possible injuries, and I know that you get banged up and stuff, so some people would say, well, that doesn't seem like self-care. But not only does this help me out on a psychological level as far as feeling like I'm progressing in my lifelong dedication to combatives, or becoming a meek, dangerous type person, where I only use it for situations that are absolutely necessary, but I have tools in my tool bag for any and every situation. And this is just undeniably super important training right here. So it does fall under self-care. This is not only is there that psychological component to it, where the identity, I've talked a lot about identity and along this little video project, and this is a big part of that. But the fitness as well. There's no other way. I mean, I've done the adventure races. I've done all the CrossFit intensity stuff. I've done so many different activities to try to replace, the war type, really high stakes, adventure type stuff that's not as accessible or not as longevity, forward. But this really is that thing. It's the finest balance, because it is the gentle art. I mean, if you know when to tap and you have your priorities straight about not just trying to fight everything, and you're just not going to get hurt. I mean, there's always a chance to get hurt, trust me. And as you actually increase through the belts, it gets more safe, because the people have a better and better and better understanding of these movements and will actually have more control. I'd say white belt is probably the most dangerous to compete in as far as injuries go, but that's why I'm just gonna really stick to technique and just really stick to just not, when I know that somebody's got submission, I'm gonna go ahead and tap out. I'm not gonna fight it too hard. But none of this was even close to submission. We just had a good rolling match, and they're just way better at keeping inside the points. And I just have to get this experience to level up to that next ring. There's always just going to be new breakthroughs every single day, every single, hopefully, week or something. I mean, it's, every single time I try the same thing twice or work with a different person, they're always giving me really good advice and really good little things that I need to work my game on. So I really appreciate that. This is a super cool community, and I just want to get to know everybody and just learn from everybody. And it's really cool to be around some of these guys that have been in this community for a long period of time, and they do know everybody. So they're you walk around with them and they're introducing everybody, and they're talking these little details that's cool about each one of the people. And there's just such a really, really cool group of people. I can't stress that enough. I'm totally sold on this lifestyle. Like 10 out of 10. I'm in it. I want to just soak up the experience and wisdom of everybody in there. And it's almost done. We're getting pretty close to the end of the video now. These are just 2 really good information gathering roles for me. I swear I've just hashed out exactly what my training regimen needs to be, exactly the places and positions that I need to learn new, approaches to, and it's just only going to get better and better and better. And the end of this video is starting to get close, so I just want to say to anybody out there interested in building your speaking skills or any kind of video content creation, man, just take a bite. Just eat that elephant, and you got to start with the smallest piece possible. Just pick some kind of framework and say, I'm going to do 20 or more days in a row of just some kind of little forced thing. And what it does is it gets you outside of your comfort zone because you can't stay ahead of that. Some of them just take you by surprise, and then that's when you are uncomfortable, and that's when you grow. So, here's the last part of this one. And I don't know, this has been a fun project, and I'm kind of just going to say goodbye, and you'll see me around on some new projects, and I can't wait to just keep getting better and better and better. See you guys around.